All right, everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to go on with our painting. So far, if you haven't done so, you should have this circular shape in the middle. We're just doing a quick recap to make sure everyone is on point. We're going to do a square right underneath that circle. We're going to have 3 diagonal lines, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll have a rectangle, very small one, right underneath our square. Next thing we should have had done is a line coming here. All right, then the next step, we got a diagonal line going all the way across. All right, and then a line coming here, a line coming from the side, same thing on the other side, and then a diagonal line going this way, and then a diagonal line coming that way. We're doing all of this with the color yellow. The next step after you've done that, if you haven't done so yet, we're going to paint in this triangle all the way yellow, and then this triangle all the way yellow. So if you haven't done those steps, go ahead, look at this picture now. I give you a second to look at it, and then we'll go ahead and move forward. So make sure you fill in this triangle yellow and then that triangle yellow. All right, that's to catch up and recap everything that's what's been done over the last couple weeks. Now let's go on to our painting. All right, as we said before, this triangle should be yellow, and then that triangle should be yellow. All right, we're looking good so far. Right next to that yellow, we're going to paint in this triangle red. All right, so right next to that triangle, we're going to paint that one red. And then in art, there's a thing called balance. So what we do on one side, we're going to do on the other side. All right, so make sure you paint this one red. Then we're going to look across the canvas and then paint that one red. All right, so if you haven't done so, go ahead and paint those 2 sections in red. All right, looking good. So far, so good. We're looking good. Fantastic. All right, now, if you've done all of those things, after that, you should have taken this section right next here, right next to the red, and we're going to paint this section in green. Make sure it's nice and solid green. All right, paint that section in all the way green. All right, I'll give you a second to make sure you have that part on point. We're looking good so far. It looks like everyone's on point, looking great. Now, if you have all of those things done, you are on top of your game. You're on top of your skill level. Everyone is on point. If you're at that level, I'm proud of you. We're doing great so far. So let's continue then. All right, so let's go ahead and get some more green. And like we said before, balance. So what we do to one side, we're going to also do to the other side. So go ahead and get your green, and we're going to fill in this section all green. Now, we want to make sure we stay in the line, because this style of art, we want to make sure it's nice and neat. So we want to take our time and stay in the line. We're going to fill up this section. All right, we're looking good. So we're going to make sure we fill in this section green. We want to spread it out, no clumps, no lumps. We want to spread it out nice and smooth, coming all the way across, looking good. It's pressing down and good. So let's take our time, spread that. All right, taking our time, going nice and smooth. We're making a beautiful painting here. All right, looking good, spreading that out. No clumps, no lumps. Taking our time. Almost done. Looking good. And if you go over the yellow a little bit, it's not a problem. You just want to make sure you try to stay nice and neat. All right, almost done. Doing that little corner right there. Boom, boom, boom. And done with the green. So again, we're going to have balance. So we have green here and green here. Go ahead, take your brush, clean it off. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle into the water. All right, wiggling, cleaning that brush off really good. Fantastic, fantastic. Taking the washcloth, go ahead and drying it really good. Boom, boom, boom. All right, make sure you get all the green out. Make sure there's nothing left on the brush. And we're going to switch over to our next color. All right, we're going to switch over to our next color. So let's go ahead and get some blue. All right, my favorite color is blue. So let's go ahead and get some blue. And right between the green and the red, we're going to go ahead and do, actually we're just going to do blue right here. All right, so we're going to take this section and we're going to paint this in blue. All right, boom, boom, boom. Taking our time. Half of our circle is going to be blue. All right, so half of our circle is going to be blue. So we're going to take our time, going around, going slow, not rushing it, taking our time. Boom, boom, boom. Going slow, taking our time, looking good. All right, filling that in. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm going really slow. I'm taking very short, small strokes, trying to make sure I manage those colors really good. All right, boom, looking good, looking good. All right, excellent, excellent. So now we already have a blue on our brush. All right, so what I want us to do is to create a light blue. All right, I want us to create a light blue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of white, just a little bit over here, and I'm just going to mix it in with the blue that's on my brush. All right, I already have blue on my brush. I'm going to take some white over here and just kind of spin it around on a paper plate or a sheet of paper or something and make a very light blue. All right, very light blue. Boom, 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 looking good. And right next to that dark blue, I'm going to paint the other side light blue. All right, again, taking my time, going slow. If I need to make some more blue, I'll go ahead and make it on the side. I'm going to fill in this top section light blue. All right, looking good, looking good. Spreading it across. Spread, spread, spread. Going slow, taking my time, looking good. All right, curving that line, curving that line. Again, this is not something that you want to rush. You want to take your time. All right, you want to be in a position to do a good job, because once we get to the end, it's going to be important that everything is done very nice and very neat. All right, that's looking good, looking good. Since we have some light blue, let's go ahead and do some more with it. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit more light blue, a little bit more white, a little bit more blue, mix it together and make a light blue. All right, and I'm gonna put it up in the corner too, since I have it. Put it up here in the corner. All right, this little triangle will be light blue. Right here. All right, I'm gonna rotate my canvas a little bit, create some space, rotate, come here. Boom, looking nice. Boom. All right, filling that in light blue. All right, just that little section right there is going to be light blue. Very nice. It's looking good. All right, that's gonna give us some balance. All right, and boom, that's looking good, looking good. Excellent, excellent. All right, let's take our brush, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, it's looking good. Let's see if we can squeeze in one last color. All right, so what color can we do? What color can we do? Well, let's do this. All right, I'm gonna ask you an art question. How do you make the color purple? How do you make the color purple? All right, let me see, let me see, let me see. All right, very good. Red and blue. So we're gonna take some blue over here to the side. Take some red over here to the side, mix them together, boom, boom, boom. Make some purple. Now make sure you're doing it off on the side and not using up all your blue that's inside your cup. All right, don't mix it in your cup because you're gonna need those colors later. All right, so we're gonna make some nice purple. All right, so right here next to this blue, this green, and this red, we're gonna fill it in purple. All right, fill it in purple. Boom, boom, boom. Taking my time, nice and smooth. All right, filling it in. Boom, boom, boom. Looking nice. All right, make a little bit more purple, a little bit more red, a little bit more blue. Mixing it up. Mixing it up, and we're gonna finish off with this purple. All right, it's okay if you go over that yellow line a little bit. That's not a problem. That is definitely not a problem. Mix it up, and boom, that's looking good. Got it, looking nice. All right, that's looking good. We're gonna stop right there. We want to make sure it's nice and dry before we go to the next step. Couple things we want to make sure that we do. All right, couple things we want to make sure we do. We want to make sure we take our brush and we clean our brush properly. All right, we're gonna take our brush, bring it to the water. We want to clean it, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, clean it very good. Now this is important because we're gonna need it. Now we don't want to kind of jam the brush because then all the bristles will get out of whack. All right, let me show you. If we do it wrong, all right, all our bristles will be spread apart right like this, and we don't want that. All right, we don't want to have those hairs sticking out. We just want to clean the brush. We're just gonna wiggle back and forth, wiggle, 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 and it's gonna go back and forth like this. We don't want to jam it. We want to wiggle back and forth. All right, because if we mess up our brush, then we won't have a good brush to work with, and our brush will be all messed up. It'll start coming out, and we don't want all that to happen. So we got to take care of our brush so it can last us a long time. So when you wiggle, just wiggle back and forth at the bottom of the bowl. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle back and forth at the bottom of the bowl. And then when you take your brush out, you want to make sure when you dry it, you're not jamming it. All right, you're not beating on it. You want to beat the brush up. You want to take care of the brush. Take it here, squeeze it, make sure all the bristles stay together. All right, nice and dry. Again, take the bristles, squeeze with the washcloth, and make it nice and dry. All right, make sure no paint is in it. Squeeze, pull, nice and dry. All right, so that way we can have it. Next thing we want to do, we want to make sure all our paints are closed. All right, we want to make sure they're closed nice and tight. Snap, you should hear the snapping sound. Open up, let me see. Yep, good snapping sound. Let me see. Yep, snap. All right, want to make this nice and closed. Yep, snap it, make sure, and snap it again, and snap. Make sure it's nice and snap. Again, you want to make sure you take your canvas, all right, turn it over, and you see that brush back there? No one's gonna take it if it's tucked back there. All right, make sure that brush is tucked back there. You can also put your paint back there. And then you want to take your washcloth. I like to roll mine, stick it back there too. So when I put it down, all right, everything is right underneath and ready to go for our next class. All right, and then make sure you take your water and you pour it out either in the sink. You can pour it outside, or you can pour it in the toilet. But make sure after you pour it, you flush the toilet or you rinse out the sink. All right, and you want to make sure that that green or blue or whatever color water you have is washed down thoroughly, because I don't want your mom or your dad or your aunt or your grandma coming to me and say, Mr. Davis ruined my toilet or my sink with the paint, and then we're all in trouble. Let's not get in trouble. Let's make sure that we take care of all the stuff we need to take care of. All right, that's everything good. We did a great job on today. We got this far. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more spaces to cover. Hopefully we can do that within the next 2 classes, because we got, then after those basic steps, we got the really fun creative steps that we're going to be able to take going forward. So again, make sure you put all your stuff away in a proper place. I give you a little bit of time to do that. Make sure you do it properly. Make sure your dog, cat, your mouse, your snake, whatever kind of pet you have, or your little brothers and sisters don't get to your materials, because you'll need them for next time. All right, just make sure you do that properly.